Hello, everybody. It's me, Danica, again. It's a pleasure to talk with you again. Today, I'm going to ask you a question. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about a tummy ache? Maybe Gatorade, maybe water, or maybe nothing at all. But what I do know is when we go to the hospital with a tummy ache, healthcare professionals around the U.S. offers ginger ale. That's one of the first aid things that they offer you when you get to the hospital with the can that looks pretty much like this. A small little ginger ale, poured in some soft ice, and they come back later to observe how we're feeling. The problem is, if healthcare professionals are using ginger ale as a first aid in the hospitals, why don't we have that same access for our children in school? One of the most common things that we hear from our children is, I have a tummy ache. I don't want to go to school today. Do we know that sometimes there's very well a tummy ache? Sure. But do we also know that sometimes they just don't want to go to school? Or they wait until they get to school and now the teacher's hearing about a tummy ache and they're sent to the nurse. So now the nurse has to give us a call to let us know that our student, our child, is complaining about a tummy ache. Ginger ale should be considered in schools as a first aid. School nurses should have the option of serving ginger ale the same way healthcare professionals do at the hospital. I believe that it is something that parents should consent, of course. I'm not advising that students should be drinking a 12-ounce ginger ale for pleasure or leisure, or just because, they don't want to drink healthy options from the cafeteria. But what I am saying is that Canada Dry makes this ginger ale as well as many other ginger ale options. Why aren't they in schools? If parents had the choice to consent for Canada Dry to be used as a first aid for tummy aches in school, it would prevent less time missed in schools. It would allow students to go back to class after probably having a little ginger ale that eases a tummy ache and continue getting the lesson learned for that day without having to go home for something that could possibly be resolved with some ginger ale. Parents would not have to leave work to go pick up our children because they said they have a tummy ache. By the time they get home, that's probably the first thing we give them some ginger ale. Next thing we know, they're on their tablets, they're on their games, they're back to normal. So a portion or a full school day has been missed because of not having a simple option like this, which is ginger ale, specifically my choice, Canada Dry, in our schools. What I advise is that the county comes together with parents and maybe a survey, have a meeting, give the parents a choice, hear the parents' voices on what they would suggest if bringing ginger ale as a first aid for tummy aches in our schools would be beneficial for students as well as parents and as well as our educational staff as well. It could improve testing scores because they're not missing out on school. Parents are not missing out on wages for having to leave work. And students are not missing on primary important things on lessons because they had to automatically go home after complaining of a stomach ache. I would say when the summertime comes, we send out surveys electronically by mail and host meetings and see if ginger ale could be incorporated in our schools. Thank you.